Hi movies lovers, today I'm going to recap one of the comedy-drama movies named The Intern with IMDb rating of 7.1. The opening scene sets the tone for Ben. A senior citizen decides to shoot a video resume for an intern job he's interested in. He's responding to a flyer that specifically asks senior citizens to apply for an internship by submitting a video explaining why they should be hired. In the video, Ben, a 70-year-old widower, talks about his comfortable life but expresses his desire to be more productive. To his surprise, he receives a call for an interview. The company he's applying to is called About the Fit and is run by Jules Austin. Jules started the online clothes retailing company from her kitchen, and within just 18 months, it has grown to have over 200 employees. We see Jules in action as she handles a customer service call from a bride who is unhappy with the color of her bridesmaids' dresses. Jules takes full responsibility, offers assistance, promises to fix the issue, and even provides her personal contact number to the bride. Jules is always on the move in her office, riding a bike, and rarely has time to pause and celebrate birthdays or have meaningful conversations with her mother. During Ben's interview, he reveals that he used to work for a company that produced phone books. The interviewer Nat asks him where he sees himself in the next 10 years but quickly realizes that the question is irrelevant given Ben's age. The interviewer acknowledges that Ben performed exceptionally well in his interviews and video, and even mentions that he is overqualified for the job. Jules's coworker, Cameron, informs her that Ben is going to be her intern. They had previously agreed to participate in the outreach program a few months ago. Cameron advises Jules that she will have to tolerate Ben for a minimum of 6 weeks in order to set an example. On his first day at work, Ben takes great care to dress impeccably. Jason introduces him to 3 other interns, including 2 senior citizens and a young man. While Davis sets up his table with various gadgets, Ben's table is equipped with basic stationery, a simple calculator, and a watch. Lewis assists Ben in getting started with the computer. Jules's assistant, Becky, informs him that he has a meeting with her at precisely 3:55 p.m. and emphasizes the importance of being prompt due to another meeting scheduled at 4 p.m. As Ben asks for tips, she advises him to speak quickly and blink frequently, as Jules is bothered by individuals who do not. During the meeting, Jules informs him that there won't be much for him to do, but assures him that she will email him if anything comes up. However, he doesn't hear from her for a few days. Nevertheless, he remains productive by familiarizing himself with the office environment and learning how to navigate the technology. He willingly assists anyone who needs help and earns the nickname Mr. Congeniality from Cameron. Additionally, he offers sensible advice to the younger employees when they require it, such as advising Jason to have an honest conversation with Becky about his infidelity, as his evasive text messages yielded no response. His first task assignment comes in the form of an email from Becky, requesting him to have Jules's jacket cleaned. Becky accidentally spilled soy sauce on it, but Jules is still wearing it and he needs to retrieve it from her. Meanwhile, in the office, Cameron expresses concerns to Jules about the rapid pace of progress at About the Fit and suggests that hiring an experienced CEO could better manage affairs and sustain their success. Ben overhears this conversation. Jules is visibly upset at the idea of having a boss, although she acknowledges the existing problems. Ben apologizes for the intrusion and asks Jules for a jacket that needs cleaning. Cameron advises her to review the list of potential CEOs and take her time to meet them before making a decision. As time goes on, Ben starts to gain more recognition around the office, especially after receiving praise in the form of a bell ringing, a practice to acknowledge exceptional performance for organizing a desk that constantly irritated Jules as a dumping spot. The office masseuse, Fiona, gives him a massage, and it becomes evident that he is attracted to her, prompting Davis to hand him a magazine to discreetly cover his lap, joking that he is not as old as Davis initially assumed. Ben notices the driver who drives Jules around drinking on the job and decides to take matters into his own hands. He informs Jules that the driver can no longer drive her, or he will have to reveal the truth. The driver apologizes to Jules for not feeling well, fearing that Ben might expose the truth. Jules offers to take the day off and let Becky drive instead. But Ben insists that she wants to give Becky more responsibilities. Jules agrees and Ben takes over. She makes it clear that she will be in the back making confidential calls. Her first call is from her mother, who shares some interesting information about sleep and weight gain. Jules then calls Cameron to discuss a meeting with the CEO. The meeting is brief, and Cameron doubts her efforts. Ben buys her a cup of soup, realizing she hasn't eaten. On the way home, he advises her to rest more and remember her journey from the beginning. At home, Jules interacts with her daughter Paige and husband Matt, who is a stay-at-home dad. Matt is disappointed about the CEO situation, but he is very involved with their daughter. Jules falls asleep in Paige's bed and returns to find Matt is asleep and too tired to make love. The next morning, Becky calls Ben to pick up Jules as her driver is unresponsive. Matt invites Ben in for coffee, and they seem to get along well. Ben observes the dynamics at home and at the school playground, where other moms judge Jules for being a busy career woman. On the way to warehouse, Jules messages Cameron to transfer Ben to another department because she thinks he is too observant. Later, Jules handles a situation at the warehouse, impressing Ben. Ben visits Fiona at her office, where she kindly offers him a foot rub. Suddenly, Davis walks in and misinterprets the situation, thinking Fiona is giving Ben a blowjob. He quickly runs away in embarrassment. Lewis, on the other hand, has to deliver a package to an address he suspects might belong to Jay-Z. Ben steps in to give him some fashion advice. Meanwhile, Jason seems to be making progress with Becky after following Ben's advice on how to approach her. One evening, Jules is working late while Ben is on his computer, waiting to give her a ride home. She brings pizza over to share with him, and they end up chatting about a meeting she had with another CEO that didn't go well. Ben then shares stories about his previous job in the same building, back when phone books were still a thing. They bond over pizza, and Jules even helps Ben set up his Facebook account, adding him as a friend to learn more about him. The next day, Doris arrives to pick up Jules. Doris, who is 72 years old, can't drive. Jules steps in and she calls Cameron and admits she made a mistake and asks for Ben to return, and eventually finds him at a coffee shop picking up coffee for his new department. Jules helps him with the coffee, apologizes, and admits she feels more at ease around him. She offers Ben his old job back and moves him closer to her workspace, right next to Becky. Becky, a business graduate from Penn, is overwhelmed with work and feels threatened by the new arrangement. Jason steps in to comfort her, giving her Ben's hanky while Ben reassures her. As time goes on, Ben proves to be a valuable asset with his insightful opinions and experience. Jules entrusts him with more responsibilities, surprising Cameron. Ben also acknowledges Becky's contributions in education, prompting Jules to praise her. Davis, who needs to move out from his parents' place, decides to move to Philadelphia to stay with his cousin. Ben offers him a room in his house to help with the crazy commute. Davis is impressed by Ben's house and wardrobe, especially his collection of handkerchiefs, which Ben believes every gentleman should carry. The following day at Jules's place, Matt declines an invitation to go to San Francisco due to school commitments Paige is excited about. Jules faces a work emergency, aggravated by a frustrating call from her mother. In a fit of anger, she writes a scathing email about her mom to Matt, but mistakenly sends it to her mother. Seeking help, she enlists her colleagues to rectify the situation. Ben steps up to visit her mother's house and erase the email from her laptop before she returns at 5:30 p.m. Jason, Davis, and Lewis join him, overcoming some obstacles to successfully complete the task. To show her gratitude, Jules treats them to drinks that evening, getting to know them better. Unfortunately, Jules ends up getting drunk, praise Ben for his support and vomiting in a trash bin outside. Meanwhile, Ben and Fiona's relationship deepens as he takes her to a friend's funeral as their first official date. The next morning, when Ben goes to pick up Jules, he finds Matt sick and Paige in tears because she doesn't want to go to a party with a babysitter. Paige wants to go with Ben instead. So Ben agreed to take her. In a dignified manner, he defends Jules's career and professionalism in front of some judgmental moms, making it seem like their success is a collective achievement. However, Paige starts feeling unwell at the party, so they leave early. To Ben's surprise, he discovers that Matt was faking his illness when he sees him leaving another house with a woman and getting into her car. Realizing that Matt is having an affair, Ben waits for a few hours until Matt returns home. He drops off a sleeping Paige and confronts Matt about the CEO situation. Ben tells him that a CEO won't be able to fix the underlying issues in their relationship. Matt appears unsettled by Ben's words. Back at the office, where Jules is finally enjoying a coworker's birthday celebration, Ben's health takes a turn for the worse as his blood pressure acts up after noticing Matt Affaira's coworkers show concern for his health. The following day, they embark on their journey to San Francisco. Jules notices that there's something Ben is keeping from her as he avoids direct eye contact and blinks nervously. Eventually, he confesses that despite his tough exterior, he's actually quite sensitive. He suggests that they make the most of their first-class plane ride. Later that night, a fire alarm disrupts their stay at the hotel. Ben accompanies Jules back to her room, sensing her need for companionship. She invites him in and opens up about her marriage, revealing that she discovered Matt's infidelity 18 days ago. Ben also mentioned Jules that he knows about Matt's affair and sympathizes with her and assures her that she should only hire the CEO if it's what she truly wants, not for anyone else. He believes she deserves both a successful career and a happy marriage. The following day, Jules's meeting with the CEO lasts longer than expected. When she finishes, she excitedly informs Ben that she hired him on the spot, despite the CEO's suggestion to sleep on it. Back at home, she shares the news with Matt, expressing her belief that it will be beneficial for both of them. However, when Matt questions who this refers to, Jules clarifies that she meant herself and Matt, not just their company, about the fit. As she takes a bath that night, she breaks down, revealing her deep unhappiness with the decision she made. In the morning, she pays a visit to Ben and is pleasantly taken aback when Davis and Fiona emerge from his apartment. It reaffirms her belief that she made the right decision. Reflecting on their time at the warehouse, Ben acknowledges that no one will ever match her level of dedication to her company, even if they have more experience. He fails to understand how sacrificing her company in the hopes of ending her husband's affair makes sense, and suggests that she came to him seeking validation. She adds that it's also because he is her best friend. Later on, she receives pictures of the bridal party and a thank you note from the bridesmaid she spoke to during a customer service call at the start of the movie. Additionally, the CEO she met in San Francisco surprises her with a bouquet of flowers. In a determined tone, she asks Becky to put the CEO on the phone. Just then, Matt enters the room and advises her against hiring the CEO for his sake. He urges her to prioritize what's right for her. In response, she reveals that she knows about his affair and questions if it's truly over. They recommit to each other and promise to work on their relationship. Jules confesses that she was planning to call the CEO and change her decision, but instead, they share a passionate kiss. She then goes in search of Ben to inform him of her change of heart, only to find him participating in a Tai Chi group. Without hesitation, She joins him, finally allowing herself to unwind and find inner peace.